In a small town nestled in the mountains, there was an old antique shop known as Eldric's Curiosities. The shop was filled with strange items, ancient books, peculiar paintings, and odd trinkets. But among all the artifacts, one item stood out, a doll. The doll was old, with cracked porcelain skin and tattered clothes. Its glass eyes were large and lifeless, but there was something about them that seemed to follow you wherever you went. The owner of the shop, Mr. Eldric, always warned customers about the doll. "That doll is not for sale," he would say. "It carries a curse." Most people dismissed it as a sales tactic. But there was something unsettling about the doll that made people keep their distance. Except for one curious young woman, Maya. Maya had just moved into the town and she loved to explore old shops. One day, while walking around Eldric's Curiosities, she couldn't help but notice the doll in the back of the store. The more she stared at it, the more intrigued she became. She asked Mr. Eldric about it. "It's cursed. The doll has a history of causing strange events. People who have taken it home have reported hearing whispers in the night. Some have gone mad. I suggest you stay away from it." But Maya wasn't one to believe in superstitions. "It's just a doll," she thought. "Nothing to be afraid of." And so, despite Eldric's warning, she decided to buy it. The moment Maya took the doll home, an odd feeling washed over her. The house seemed colder than usual, and the doll's eyes, despite being lifeless, seemed to follow her every movement. She placed it on a shelf in the living room, trying to dismiss the strange feeling creeping up her spine. That night, as she lay in bed, she heard a faint sound. It was a whispering, almost like a voice, but so soft that it was hard to make out the words. Maya tried to ignore it, thinking it was just the wind or her imagination. But the whispers grew louder, almost as if they were calling her name. "Maya! Maya!" Terrified, she got up to check the house, but everything seemed normal. The whispers stopped as soon as she left the room. Relieved, she went back to bed. However, that night marked the beginning of many sleepless nights. The whispers never stopped. The doll started to move too. Maya would wake up in the middle of the night to find it in a different position, as if it had been walking around the room. Sometimes she would find it on the floor, face down, its eyes wide open, staring into the darkness. She even started hearing faint footsteps in the house, soft and slow, like someone was walking around when she knew she was the only one there. One evening, as Maya was sitting in the living room, she felt a cold gust of air rush through the room. She turned to look at the doll, and to her horror, she saw it had moved again. This time, it was standing, its little porcelain feet on the floor, as if it was trying to step forward. Desperate, Maya decided to visit Mr. Eldric and return the doll. As she entered his shop, Eldric's face turned pale when he saw her. "Mr. Eldric, you took the doll. You need to bring it back to where it belongs. The curse is already affecting you. Maya, where does it belong?" Mr. Eldric led her to a dark corner of the store where he pulled up a dusty floorboard. Beneath it was a small, hidden compartment, and inside was an old, faded note. "Mr. Eldric, the doll must be buried in the graveyard where it was originally found. Only then will the curse be broken." Maya didn't think twice. She grabbed the doll, feeling its cold, lifeless weight in her arms, and rushed to the graveyard in the dead of night. She found an unmarked grave, the one she believed was linked to the doll's dark past. Without hesitation, she buried it deep in the earth, hoping that would end the nightmare. The moment the doll was buried, the whispers stopped. The strange footsteps ceased. The house returned to normal, and for the first time in weeks, Maya could sleep peacefully. But as she left the graveyard, she glanced back and saw something that made her blood run cold. The doll's porcelain face, peering out from beneath the ground, its eyes wide open, watching her.